August 24th, 79 AD. The people of Pompeii wake to an ordinary morning. Bakers light their ovens. Fishermen push their boats into the Bay of Naples. Slaves grind grain in stone mills. No one in this city has any idea they have less than 24 hours left to live. This is the story of the single deadliest natural disaster in the history of the Roman Empire, told hour by hour, almost exactly as it happened, reconstructed from archaeology and the only eyewitness account that survives. A letter, written by a Roman named Pliny the Younger, 25 years after the fact. To understand what was lost, you have to understand what Pompeii was. This was not a backwater. It was a resort city of roughly 11,000 people, with wealth that rivaled Rome itself. There was a working amphitheater older than the Colosseum. There were bathhouses, brothels, over 30 bakeries, and villas with frescoed walls, so advanced in technique that historians still study the pigments today. Above the city stood Mount Vesuvius, green, gentle-sloped, covered in vineyards. Most Pompeians didn't even think of it as a volcano. It hadn't erupted in nearly 1,700 years. To them, it was just a mountain. By late morning, life continues as normal. In the Forum, merchants argue over the price of wine. In a nearby villa, a painter puts the final touches on a fresco. Nobody notices anything unusual, except that the well water tastes strange and the local dogs won't stop barking. Just past noon, a deep tremor rolls through the ground. Small earthquakes weren't unheard of here. The city had partially rebuilt after a bigger one 17 years earlier, so most people barely look up. Then, at around 1 p.m., the mountain opens. A column of ash, pumice, and superheated gas erupts 20 miles into the sky. Pliny the Younger, watching from across the bay, describes it as shaped like an umbrella pine tree, a trunk of smoke rising straight up before spreading flat at the top. Panic breaks out. Some residents grab whatever they can carry and run for the coast. Others, remembering the earthquake 17 years ago that did no lasting damage, decide to wait it out indoors. By mid-afternoon, the sky over Pompeii has gone dark. Pumice stones, light, porous but scalding hot, begin raining down, piling up in the streets faster than people can walk through them. Roofs start to groan under the weight. Across the bay, a Roman admiral named Pliny the Elder, uncle to our eyewitness, launches ships toward the disaster, not to flee it, but to rescue people trapped on the shore. He will die within hours, overcome by toxic fumes at the nearby town of Stabiae. His own nephew's letter is the reason we know his name today. By nightfall, close to 2 meters of pumice has buried Pompeii's streets. Some roofs have already caved in under the weight, crushing the people sheltering beneath them. Those who haven't fled by now are running out of time. Just after midnight, the eruption changes character completely. The column of ash collapses under its own weight, and it sends a pyroclastic surge, a rolling wall of gas and volcanic debris moving at highway speed and heated past 500 degrees Fahrenheit, directly into the nearby town of Herculaneum. Death there is instantaneous. Bodies found centuries later in the town's boat chambers were frozen in place in a fraction of a second, flesh vaporized by heat before they could even react. Through the early hours of August 25th, wave after wave of these surges roll down the mountain. Each one reaches a little farther than the last. At around 6:30 in the morning, the sixth and final surge reaches Pompeii itself, engulfing everyone still left in the city. An estimated 2,000 people, out of the roughly 11,000 who once lived there. Most of the population had already escaped in the 18 hours since the eruption began. The 2,000 who stayed did not. Ash continued to fall for days, eventually burying the city under 20 feet of volcanic debris. Over time, the bodies of the dead decomposed, leaving perfectly shaped voids in the hardened ash around them. Pompeii disappeared from maps entirely. For over 1,600 years, it lay forgotten beneath vineyards, its name surviving only in a handful of old texts. It was rediscovered by accident in 1748, during excavation work for a nearby palace. And in 1863, an archaeologist named Giuseppe Fiorelli made a discovery that changed how the world understood the disaster. By pouring plaster into the voids left in the ash, he could recreate, in haunting detail, the exact final moments of the people who died there. A family huddled together in a corner, a dog still straining against its chain, a man shielding his face with his arm. What makes Pompeii so extraordinary isn't just the tragedy, it's the preservation. Loaves of bread, carbonized but intact, were found still inside a bakery's oven. Political campaign slogans are still visible, painted on walls. Graffiti, jokes, insults, love notes survives exactly as it was scratched into the plaster 2,000 years ago. No other site on Earth offers such a complete, frozen snapshot of daily life in the ancient world. Mount Vesuvius has erupted more than 30 times since 79 AD. It is still active today, and roughly 3 million people now live within its potential blast radius, including the entire city of Naples. Volcanologists don't ask whether it will erupt again. They only ask when. If you want more stories like this, history, told the way it actually happened, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.